Yeah, if we were too formal. Hi, this is Charlotte Pearson. You're watching Facebook TV. I'm here with Chelsea Banning, the author gone from invisible to viral in December, and just like an amazing story. I followed it from the very beginning. Anyway, I'm Charlotte Pierce, and I'm the producer of Facebook TV, and we publish this podcast and live stream in collaboration with the Independent Publishers of New England, IPNE.org, which is an affiliate of Independent Book Publishers Association. Lots of small publishers and independent solo publishers and self-publishers like Chelsea. Awesome. So Chelsea, so you're self-published, and do you plan on, I mean, we'll get into a little bit of why you're here, but do you plan on keeping that going, or are you going to like go to a traditional publisher?
Well, after I did like all of the pros and cons a couple years ago, I really didn't want to do traditional publishing. However, with this blowing up the way it did and the multiple foreign presses reaching out to me for translations and foreign rights, and even readers wanting translations and stuff, I figured it would be best to maybe try to get this traditionally published, because I don't have the capacity to handle foreign rights or do translations or anything like that. I don't have the time or like the money for any of that. So I figured it would be best to try to get this to a trad pub house, because they have better everything. More international. Like it is in international markets, but some countries it's harder than others. Like I have a friend from Mexico, and she can't get the book because it's not available on Amazon Mexico. So it's
Is it? Did you populate that out to Ingram? It's Ingram Spark.
It's Ingram Spark. Yeah. So it's harder to get to international markets because you can't put it wide on Amazon. Amazon has a larger international reach than Ingram Spark does. So I think on Amazon it's only available in like the UK and like Australia. I do have some like Netherlands sales and like in Germany, I think, but it's like digital, so it's on Kindle. But even then, people were having kind of trouble getting it. So I do have an agent now, Barry Goldblatt with Barry Goldblatt Literary, and we are working on sending it out to presses.
Fantastic. Well, and I just want to go back a little bit, because I think a lot of our members, you know, they show up with a published book, even something on Amazon, and they don't know where to go from there. Nothing happens, you know. So, and a lot of them, like I'll speak at something and I'll ask people, you know, how, you know, who uses social media? And I hate social media. I hate it. Twitter sucks. You know? So, you know, I was fascinated by how it was so authentic. You put out this post that nobody came to your signing, and maybe you can take it from there and just give us a little brief outline of how that happened.
I was feeling disheartened with how it turned out. A lot of my friends have said they were coming and they didn't, and I didn't want to make them feel bad, because hold on, I'm sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. There we go.
Okay. Very informal.
So I kind of wanted to let the feelings out a little bit, and I follow a lot of writers on Twitter, and I kind of just wanted to talk to other writers about it. Like I talked to my husband about it, but he's not, I mean, he writes poetry and stuff, but he's not like in the writer community, you know?
Right.
So I wanted to talk to some other writers about it maybe, or just kind of vent into the void where no one would see it.
And I saw it.
And everyone saw it, apparently.
Was I the first one to respond?
I don't know who was the first one.
I don't know either, but it was minutes after.
I tweeted it and then I left for the day.
Yeah.
Like at that point I didn't have Twitter on my phone. So I usually usually go on my laptop in the mornings and kind of do like some admin stuff. And I did that. I closed my laptop and I had a bunch of errands and stuff to run that day. So I left the house. And so I didn't see anything till 6-7 hours later. And it had already blown up. So
I know. And I went back and looked at those things and you said like, wow, this thing exploded.
Yeah, because it did. I was like, what is happening? And I think what really caught my attention was my friends were sending me screenshots and someone had sent me a screenshot of Robin Hobb responding. And I was like, no way. So, and then I went back and by that point it was hard to tell who was commenting where and when and everything. But I was just sitting on my couch, just like, what?
And then I saw Neil Gaiman and Margaret Atwood and these people and have they sort of maintained some connection or is that kind of,
Stephen King has.
That's so cool.
Right. Like he follows me and every once in a while he'll like a tweet of mine.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. And I've actually started talking back and forth to Bridget Kemmerer and Joanne Harris. And they've been really, really helpful with some agent questions. Yeah. So they are super sweet. They are wonderful.
So this just organically blew up, but you had some expertise and you had a belief or, you believed that you could leverage social media for your writing.
Yeah.
And this is your first book. We should tell people.
Yes, it is my first book. I do have experience with social media. I ran my own business for about 7 or 8 years. I did princess parties. So that was all a lot of social media and word of mouth and networking. So I had experience doing that. And I took that to my book marketing because when you self-publish, you're essentially running a small business for yourself because you create a product and then you have to sell the product and then you have to do the taxes for the product.
And did you already have your website and everything? As some of our members think, well, I can just have a Facebook page or something.
I made a website. I don't remember when I made one. I think I made it a little bit before my release. I think I probably made it around the time my pre-orders went up. Okay. I hate making websites, so I procrastinated on that a while, but websites are definitely...
It's not a website. I mean, it's pretty good.
Thanks. It was really bad, and then my friend Brittany, friend B was like, I'm going to fix it for you. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, it works. Everything's there.
Yeah.
The one thing I would love is some high, a press section for high resolution photos and stuff.
I'm working on that. I don't have a lot of high res photos. The photos I do have are from Ren fairs a few years ago. I don't have any formal headshots or anything. So I'm working on that. So.
And do you plan on taking the book to events like these Renaissance fairs, which I assume is what you mean by Ren fairs?
Yeah, and that's especially, so in October, I did, let me start over. In October, I signed up to be a vendor for a local Comic-Con, the Great Lakes Geek Fest. And I did really great there because cosplayers are also big nerds and they're big readers. So I would say that
people don't know what cosplayers are. It's costume. No,
costume play. Yeah.
Cosplay.
The people who dress up as their favorite characters at Comic-Cons. Yeah. And I even know a lot of other author friends who do way better with selling at events than they do selling on social media. So I would even say to the people who don't like social media, sign up for in-person events. You could really get sales there, especially if you have to be very personable though. You have to talk to everybody who passes and kind of, you kind of have to make it about them a little bit. And then you kind of reel them in, you know what I mean? Kind of have to. Yeah. So,
at the Boston Book Festival, the best booth was, someone who was writing poems about you when you came up, when you came up to the booth. It was lines down the street.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that's so unique and cool. Yeah. So every cosplayer who went by, I was like, oh my gosh, I love your costume. I'm like, this is so cool. Could I get a picture of you with my book? And they'd be like, yeah, even if you didn't buy it, you're networking and you're getting it out there. I got my friends, I have quite a few friends in the 501st Star Wars costuming group. they do like charity work. They're officially licensed by Lucasfilm. And so I was like, can you guys all read my book? So I have like Leia and Kylo Ren and like,
I love it. Yeah.
like TIE fighters, you know, like reading my books. So like you just kind of got to put yourself out there. And don't.
And are you finding it difficult to judge this? Like, you know, with social media, it seems like being regular or being consistent and always having something out there. You don't want weeks to go by without a posting or something.
That's hard, especially when you have a full-time job and a family and stuff. It's hard. I had a lot of help when this blew up to kind of get the momentum going. I had two friends, my friends B and Keisha, who were like scheduling posts for me and rating in messages, because I was like freaking out, like I was having a panic attack. And they were like, we'll help. And it's like, I wouldn't have been able to get through it without their help, really. Because it's hard, especially like you try to be on every social media page and try to keep up with the algorithms, and it like that alone is a full-time job.
I know, the analytics, like who has time for that? You know, I don't know.
It's hard. Well, it's why like there's more and more companies having just a social media person full-time, because it's hard to keep up on all of that.
Yeah. Well, and then, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about your timeline, because I think people really need to know, like from start to finish, and then when you start writing it, and then do you have a plan? Do you know you're going to do 3 books? And when you start getting it out for reviews and things like that, did you know all that stuff in advance, or did you just study it, or?
Yeah, so I did a lot of research. I held off on research until I like got a solid first draft done, and because I didn't want to overload myself with writing the first draft, figuring out the story, and also researching publishing, because that was just too much in my brain. So I finished the first draft, like a solid first draft, in March or April 2020. And then everyone always says, you know, set it aside for a couple weeks before you go back into it. So I took some time to kind of research publishing. That's when I kind of did my pros and cons of traditional versus self. And I found a couple channels on YouTube, Mandy Lynn, Bethany Adazada, who are amazing self-published authors. And they have like self-publishing timelines, and they have workbooks and stuff. And I was like, this is really cool. And they had it all laid out, which is amazing that they did all of this. I mean, it was a lot of hard work that they did. And so I looked at that and I'm like, okay, so from your first draft to this, to the next step, to, you know, getting it to editors and things like that. So I made a timeline for myself based around the time that I had. I had a lot more time during the pandemic because I had worked in theater. I worked at an auditorium, so I wasn't working. Everybody got, you know, laid off and everything. So, and then with I have a stepdaughter, and with her being homeschooled, basically, you know, everyone was at home. I stayed home because all the other parents had to work. So I had a lot of time. I was home. So I invested a lot of time into my book. And it probably would have been a slower process if I was working. But
you did line up. I mean, it'd be nice if you could email me the names of those people that you know, like, because I think that's so important. I mean, I'm a small publisher, and I don't always follow those rules, you know, those guidelines.
What's really nice about those two is they collaborated on a book series. They've got oh yeah, these are amazing. There's I think 5 in the book series. So, you know, if you're not watching YouTube or anything like that, and you like something physical, they have amazing books for that. And then Mandy Lynn also has a journal line. So this is my writing planner, and then there's the book launch planner as well. And she lays it all out, and it's wonderful how she does that. So
are they updated recently? Yes. I mean, because this stuff does change.
Yeah, they update pretty frequently. Like I think Mandy just sent out another video about it, like a self-publishing timeline and everything like that. So
good. Yeah, I think that
so
would be very valuable.
Yeah. So yeah, it was.
And then,
it was a lot.
but like we've had these conferences where Publishers Weekly comes and talks about reviews and stuff, and how you have to get out your ARC or your advanced review copy like 3 months in advance to Did you do that?
I sent my ARCs out in the spring of last year. I published late August, and I started getting everything out late spring, I'd want to say, and started to get some feedback and reviews and stuff. I sent it out to some friends first, and I asked them to kind of spread the word to try to get more people for ARCs and stuff. So I ended up getting, I think, maybe like a solid 10 or 12 reviews on Goodreads. So,
and your actual pub date was that, did you worry about that, or did you?
So I made a bit of a mistake.
I have too.
So it was, I don't remember the original pub date, but I ended up doing it a week early, and I decided that last minute, and I messed up the pre-orders on Amazon.
Oh,
so don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely stick to the pub date, because what happened was, because I made it early, so I had Ingram Spark uploaded through Amazon.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, because then it's not on Prime. And when people go to Amazon for books, they want Prime. So all of my Amazon pre-orders were now saying, oh, it's not going to be available till October. And I'm like, no. So I had to go back, upload it through Amazon. Everyone had to cancel their Amazon pre-orders, go to Barnes & Noble to pre-order it or something. And it was a mess.
Yeah.
So that is an update.
Yeah, that is a great lesson. And yeah,
it was a lot of trial and error. So
the next one, I mean, this is going to be a trilogy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
3 books.
And I mean, it's not a genre that I have traditionally read, but I started reading it. I have to admit, I didn't finish it before our interview, but I will. But it's like, it just pulls you in. It's so good. I think
I appreciate that.
I mean, that's the thing about it. You can go viral, but if it's not good, it doesn't, maintain the momentum.
Yeah.
But so all this happened, and exciting, and then the furor sort of died down. But you went. What was your process in finding an agent? Did you have?
So I had a few reach out, quite a few reach out, and my old writing professor from YSU is actually an award-winning author, Christopher Barzak, and I had been texting him, because I'm like, what do I do? I was like, I don't know any of these people. Like, I didn't know any of the literary agencies they came from, because when I had figured out to do self-publishing, I didn't look into traditional publishing. So like, I didn't look into how to query or anything like that. Cause I'm like, well, if I'm going to do self-publishing, I'm not going to do that research. And so he offered to contact his agent, and that's how we got in touch. And I learned that his agent was already reading my book and loved it. So that was really cool. And so we just kind of,
so it all kind of merged in with that same energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very lucky, very lucky. So.
Yeah, we had a conference. We'd love to have you speak at our next conference. It's in November. It's all online, because we're a large regional organization, so 6 states, and it's just you can't have people come from Burlington, Vermont, come to Connecticut. But yeah, we had these 2 agents, Susan Nystoriak and Catherine Sands. And God, she'd kill me if I forgot. Because we're going to do a series with Catherine on the critique bar, so that we're going to have authors bring their works, and they'll critique them from an agent's
point of view. I like that.
Yeah, that's good. So anyway, but we had you could do like your elevator speech for the agent, and then they would give a little feedback. It was so popular.
Yeah. Well, because it's nice to have an actual person give you feedback before you send it out. So
yeah, and they're very good about they don't say this sucks or something.
Yeah.
You might want to be a little more compelling with your dialogue or something.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, well, I won't keep you forever, but what do you think is I'd like to have you come back and just kind of update us. What do you think? Is there anything else that, you would give advice to self-published authors? And just, not that everyone can replicate what you did, but, just to have kind of an open mind about social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, the biggest thing is make connections with people. And don't be afraid to start small. Your audience, and stay consistent. Your audience can grow over time. Sometimes people get lucky. Hello. Like it was literally, mine was literally pure luck. I've had a lot of people go, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Why isn't this happening to me? And I'm like, don't do that to yourself, because it was literally pure luck. Like I just happened to tweet at the right time and the right person saw it. But I had been building a consistent little network. Like, don't wait for people to come to you, go to them. Find an author you like and, another indie author or something, or a reading page you like, and, start small. Don't try to go big right away. Just build a small community and let that grow.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to network with people. Really that helps. By doing like Comic-Cons and Renaissance fairs and stuff, I've built a huge network of people. Like I know people who ran a Comic-Con, and stuff like that. So, branch out, go to like events and stuff and just talk and network and just meet people, especially in person. That helps a lot.
Yeah. And your genre is so specific that you kind of have people want to hear from you, and that's
and I knew like it was a very niche market. So stuff like this, like I knew hitting the Renaissance fair would be a big help. A lot of my friends are Rennies, and they all bought my book when it first came out. I had a couple hundred sales, which is great for a brand new indie author. But I hit those Renaissance markets because I'm like, Rennies love King Arthur. So, So, find your market and find your niche and network. Network is the biggest thing. Because if you make friendships, they're going to want to help you. And if you help them, and, you got to support each other.
Yeah. And it's amazing, like on Twitter, not that everyone will be on Twitter, but, if you, like, I've connected with amazing people. They'll respond. Neil Gaiman actually responded to one of my things.
Awesome. He's great.
I thought, God, I'm going to frame this.
I've got all my screenshots saved. I'm going to put them on like a cork board.
I love it. Well, listen, let's have you come back and update us on your progress and your next book and all that. And I think you have a lot to teach our members. I just want to follow you and see, because you're so authentic, and
thanks.
Your writing is terrific, and you have the tool belt for success. So that's just great. But I appreciate your being here, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. We have a question.
Oh,
I don't understand how Stephen King, for example, found your book. Oh, well, we kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. I don't understand how he saw it either, I guess. I got lucky, like it started with like Robin Hobb and Jodi Pickle, and probably, it was probably because of like Henry Winkler and Flavor Flav that, and like Neil Gaiman.
Flavor Flav, that was the coup de grace. That was perfect.
That's my favorite response.
I had to look him up. Like, who is Flavor Flav? I mean, I heard the name.
Yeah, that's his is my favorite response, just because it was so like out of nowhere and unexpected. I was like, I got Flavor Flav's approval. Life made.
And do you use hashtags? Did your writers, groups hashtag?
I didn't do any hashtags. I usually don't do hashtags a lot on Twitter. You get a lot of weird responnnes sometimes when you do hashtags. So
I suppose you've had some weird weirdness.
Yeah, and sometimes you get a lot of bots with hashtags. Yeah. So on Twitter I try not to do hashtags.
Good point. Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much, and we'll follow your progress, and please keep us posted about it.
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Take care.